Marin, let's move on to the gold market. The gold market, a lot of mining representatives and investors, at least the ones that I've spoken to at some resource shows, and again, these are just IR people. It was kind of a downbeat mood at the San Francisco show that I went to a few months ago. I know you're in Vancouver. You speak to the big executives. You speak to the big investors. What's the overall mood with this recent last 2 years of kind of just gold, kind of just being bouncing around, and the juniors, of course, being a lot of them being decimated.
I think it's part of the natural cycle of the resource sector. The guys that I talk to, my partners, Rick Rule, Doug Casey, these are guys that have been around for 40 years, and they've seen all the ups and downs and the sideways and the bipolar reaction to the markets. What has happened right now is there's just too many of these junior exploration companies. In 2006, 2007, there was so much expectation on that, what was gold going to do, that every geologist became a president of a junior company. And there was so much money that flooded into the sector. And it's what I call, unwise money or hot money came into the sector looking for the next hot story. So these geologists that had no business running a company got easy money and hot money at inflated terms. And then over the years, gold has done well. If you look at the last 10 years of gold, it's done phenomenally well. It's in the mid-1600s per ounce right now. But unfortunately, the sector in itself loses about $2 billion a year looking for gold and trying to produce gold. So when you look at that, there's just a lot of these companies that need to go away and shut down their offices. That's step one. Then some of these companies may have good assets, and then the companies that are smart, that have been around, the management team know what they're doing, they have cash, they are going to be the survivors. And now there's just a few of those guys, and they have a lot of supply, a lot of projects to choose from. So I'm very excited about this market because this is the type of market that I excel in. When you have a lot of cash on the sidelines and you have a strong network of understanding who's who in the zoo, you can start picking excellent companies on discount. It's like going to the jewelry store and getting these great companies trading for less than even cash. We have a cash box list in our newsletter. So this is most people get very discouraged in this market. The smart money is getting very excited about these markets because when there's blood on the streets, that's when you want to go deal hunting.
Last we spoke, you mentioned Brazil Resources, another company from Amir Adnani, as a screaming buy. You were obviously, I don't think you were predicting this little move we've had because I think you're looking at the bigger picture. But I think we spoke, it was about $1. Anybody who listened to you is up over 20% in 2013. What are your current thoughts on Brazil Resources?
I'm very excited. I just had a meeting last week with Amir, and he's updating me on the exploration program that they have. And I am very, very excited about a project that nobody on the street is even talking about. Like, that's how, you see, when you invest in the right management team, they don't just have one project. They've bought ounces in the ground at a discount. I know that they already have multi-million ounce potential on their existing, what they call the flagship projects. Now, to boot, there's a project that the street hasn't even figured out yet that is called Artulandia. And the ironic part of this was at the big mining show in Vancouver, there's a very famous geologist named Mel Clone. Mel Clone is one of the original directors and founders of a company called Yamana Gold. Now, Yamana Gold is a multi-billion-dollar gold company, and Mel Clone was the geologist that discovered their best cash-flowing property. And when I ran into him on the street, he's like, "Hey, Marin, you really like this company called Brazil Resources." And he read somewhere online one of my reports, and I said, "I'm a huge bullish of this company, and I'm a big shareholder." And he goes, "I really wanted that Artulandia project." And I said, "Why, Mel?" And he goes, "It is exactly like the project that Yamana has." Now, this is the geologist that discovered and developed that asset geologically.